Previously on Dandies in Danger.
And what meals does Man of the Cloth normally take?
I have to confess, it's much fancier than what I usually eat. At the church, of course. St. Mary LeBeau. St. Mary LeBeau.
Is he the one correcting himself, or...
Yes.
Okay.
Is he who he says he is?
Yeah, I'm like...
I don't know.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, that's kind of suspicious.
Mr. Verdi, would you tell me about some of the places you've been for your travel journal?
Oh, of course. Daniel speaks of places he has actually been.
Nathaniel looks very starry-eyed. I have always wanted to travel. Things keep me here.
Things keep me here. Bound.
It's the curse.
I really think there's something to the gems in this place. And there's a reason why there are gems in the eyes of every single taxidermied thing here.
Well, we do know gems can hold magic, so...
What if it's a kind of communication magic?
Spying?
As you reach the top of the stairs, you see a small object. It is a small pull toy. It's a little track with wheels on it, 4 wheels and a string attached. You see the figure is a little drummer with ears like a cat. And as you get up the stairs even further, you think it might be a trick of your eye, but you see it start to roll away from you down the hallway.
Hi, my name is Eli, my pronouns are he, him, and I play the voice of Zachery Wilkos.
Hello, I'm Cass. My pronouns are she, her, and I voice Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess, he, she, they, and I voice Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, I'm Toast. Pronouns are she, they, and I play Adrian Edwards.
Before you, Daniel, the little wooden pull toy, a dutiful soldier cat beating a drum with its one remaining paw, slowly rolls inch by inch across the top of the stairs. Most noticeably, the pull string drags behind the wheels on the floor untouched. It's moving towards your left as you face it, and there are just a few seconds before Dorothea will undoubtedly see it. What would you like to do? You don't have to do anything, by the way. I'm not telling you have to do something. I'm saying you have an opportunity, so you can either watch or act.
I don't feel like hiding it from her.
Okay.
I think it would be validating for someone else to see what I'm seeing, so I think he watches it.
Okay.
Maybe perceives it a little bit more.
Well, then before we see the result of that, I would like everyone to roll for witness, because the 8 o'clock hour passed while we were finishing dinner. So that's going to be your D4.
Also, I just had this wild theory come into my head. What if Nathaniel's niece is already a ghost? Because nobody
Like
saw
she's
her.
not alive.
Yeah, what if she's a ghost? Because nobody was, noticing her doing that magic on the road. But Zach could see her.
Zach could see her, yeah.
That's my...
And none
But
of
she
us-
was wearing the hat, and she was also wearing his coat.
fuck.
Yeah, that was the other thing.
The clothes are
Because
just
I had the
floating
exact
there.
same theory. Yeah. I got a 4.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Oh, did you get a 4 twice?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, we're supposed to do it twice?
No.
Been inflicted by
It's
madness.
Okay. So if you recall... Wait, I'll get everybody else's numbers first.
I got a 3.
I got a 4.
So, Zach, you're the only one that this applies to. I'm so sorry. When it comes to witness, if you roll a 1 twice in a row, you get dumb luck, right? Unfortunately, you rolled a 4 twice in a row. So for the 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock hour, you rolled a 4. And now for this 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock hour, you've rolled a 4. So that means you have frightful sight, which means you're going to take 1 fright, please.
You've been inflicted with frenzy.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
And so now let's determine who would like me to dole out your witness and who would like to hold on to it so you can get a guaranteed success on perception.
I'm going to give it to you.
Okay, cool. Jess?
I'm gonna keep mine.
You're going to hold on to it and cash it in
Yeah.
with me? Okay, so that's going to be... You get 3.
I wanna do my own sleuthing.
Nice.
And don't forget, if you don't use it up within the hour, I'll try to keep you posted on what the time is, but if you don't use it up, then you'll lose it. And for Adrian?
I'm also going to keep mine.
Okay, so you've got 4.
Yee.
Liam got a 2. So moving forward, Daniel, we're back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothea startles when she notices what you're looking at and drops all casual conversation. The toy continues its rolling march at a snail's pace. The four wheels squeak softly, and the two of you have to strain your ears to hear the soft, uneven drum beats. It's moving to the left so slowly that sometimes you're not sure it's moving at all. The rest of the dinner crowd is quickly approaching from the bottom of the stairs, when a sharp boom of thunder and lightning bleaches the hall above you in stark white light, and the pull toy suddenly bolts forward like a shot, hammering its drum in triple time before being stopped with a crack by the opposite wall. Dorothea leans into you instinctively. Please roll for fright.
What? That's a D8, right?
Yes, sorry, you do need a D8.
That's the music I'm gonna write for this scene.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna go Danny Elfman on it. I got a 4.
Okay, please give yourself 4 fright.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I forgot I'm not supposed to. I was like, roll high, please. No, not for this. All right, I'm half frighted. I'm half afeared.
Very scary little cat boy.
I'm scared. Well, I guess the thunder scared Daniel, and then he was already on edge, and then suddenly it bolted forward. So
Are you saying thunderbolt and lightning very, very frightening right now?
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Excellent. Just wanted clarification.
Yeah. Yep, you got it.
Okay. Now, what do? This has happened. We're kind of in bullet time right now. The people are moving up behind you on the stairs.
I think Daniel had instinctively put his hand out when Dorothea was approaching, sort of like a stay back sort of thing while he was watching the toy. And then I think after seeing this, he looks at her, he gives her a look to kind of confirm, did you see that?
She looks back up at you with fear and amazement.
Yeah, same girl.
Dorothea actually starts to move further up the stairs to look around to see if it's a prank.
I think Daniel pauses for a moment and then he follows her. I don't know, he's feeling a little protective. But also kind of like she might be a good sleuthing partner. She was reading stuff in the library. She seems to be a creative mind, curious like him, writes about stuff that interests her. That's what Daniel's doing. That's why he's writing about Zach. That's why he's so interested in Zach. And then he got sucked into this stuff himself. So yeah, he follows her.
She's smoothing out her skirts, kind of like an anxious movement, but she's looking around and she's trying to gather herself. And she says, I have 3 sisters. This has got to be a prank. I just know it's a prank. I've got this. There's no way. Maybe the floor is sloped? And she's walking closer towards the toy.
Daniel follows, and he also looks around and tries to see if the floor is perhaps sloped.
Have you walked fully up onto the first floor?
Yeah, I'm up on the first floor.
You see the ghost of an old woman looking out the window out to the north side of the house. And now I will show you the map for this level.
So I see her full body standing. She
is a full body apparition because you are holding one of the feathers. Yes. So you also get to see ghosties. The ghost is standing at the centermost window on the north side of the house.
Oh, so I'm seeing her from behind.
Yeah.
And she's right where the toy is.
She's close by.
And she has not noticed us.
Nope, she has not.
Is Dorothea walking right towards it?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Dorothea does not see a full body apparition.
Of course.
Your previous fright from the toy is going to count towards any fright you might have taken from seeing a ghost.
Okay. I think Daniel instinctually puts his hand out and he says to Dorothea, "Wait."
Did you see something?
He's actually silent and doesn't know how to answer that.
She is going to roll an insight on you, and she's going to have advantage to a certain extent because you all are pals.
I will also say that Daniel is looking at the ghost.
Okay. Wow. She rolled real good. Not to mention she is amicable towards you. So that means that she gets 18 plus 3 is 21. Plus 2. Okay. She literally says,
wow,
you look like you've just seen a ghost. And she's laughing, but she's kind of looking around and she's like, is there something you want to tell me?
Daniel is very still with his hands still out, and the only thing that moves is his eyes as he looks at Dorothea.
Nope. This is her talking. She says, nope, nope, that's the end of that, and we will not be looking at the toy, and we will be going into the ballroom, and that's all there is to that, and she walks away.
Dorothea's gonna live.
She's like, no.
Whatever happens, Dorothea is going to live.
She saw your reaction, Daniel, and she just decided, she has turned around and she's like, all right, it's time to dance. Into the ballroom. And she has turned around to go back through a door. I will describe more of the layout to you now. Whenever you came up the stairs, there was a door to your right. It was a big fancy door, so that's the door that Dorothea is now going through. You assume that's probably where the grand ballroom is. There is also a door in front of you that's more of a plain and simple type of door. And then to the left...
I thought the ghost and the window were right in front of me.
As you were coming up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you were coming up the stairs, there was a door. So now it's behind you, basically. The fancy door is now behind you guys.
So Dorothea turned right around.
She turned right around.
Okay.
So right across from the grand staircase, there's a simple door. And then to the left of that simple door, there's a stretch of wall. And on that wall, there's a large horizontal gilded mirror. And underneath that mirror is a low-set table. Standing on a special display on the table are 3 taxidermy wild boar piglets. They are posed to look as if they are running through the undergrowth. So what do? Do you stick around to check out the ghost and the toy, or do you follow Dorothea? Oh, okay.
By yourself?
Daniel knows that they're here for investigation.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he's alone, she's like this old woman, not like an axe murderer. So
You don't know.
I mean, I don't know, and I don't see her face.
You ever heard of Lizzie Borden?
But like, I think he's gone like pale and he's sweating and he still has his hand out and he's still very still, but his heart is in his throat, but he very quietly says, "Ma'am?"
She turns around to look at you, and she looks through you, and she says,
Don't patronize me. I brought you into this world. God may yet grant us a miracle.
and it seems like she's having this conversation with somebody else.
So Daniel thinks this. He's heard about different types of ghosts from Zach and has experienced a few of them himself. I don't think he's run into this type of ghost before that is kind of like just like a memory stain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he perceives this ghost to be. And he finds what she said very interesting, and he always has a little pencil on him, so I think he's going to pull his sleeve up a little bit and write down what she said on his cuff. And he does that right now.
Awesome. Are you going to say anything else?
I think he pauses, waiting and listening to see if she says anything more. What time period is her dress?
I'm going to say that's going to be mid to late 1700s.
Okay.
So not super duper long ago.
Daniel has researched he writes historical fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So he has been to the library plenty of times and looked through books and has had to describe clothing before. So I'm going to check in with you, but I will vouch for him and say that he probably recognizes and is able to date that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That the dress is from that time.
Yeah, that works.
I think he pauses and he's waiting and listening, and then he tries to address her again and he says, "Ma'am."
I don't care whether it's been 43 years or 100 years. Your father made a promise. He'll keep it.
He writes that down again. Is she doing anything?
As you're looking at her, it's almost like the conversation has been paused. She's sort of like, glitches might not be the right word, but she sort of like bobs back and forth as if she's sort of stuck at this point in the conversation.
Then I guess he addresses her again. He kind of like clears his throat. Do continue.
Are the other people coming up the stairs?
Yes.
Are they seeing this?
We're going to roll for that in a minute.
Okay.
Because they are coming up as Daniel is muttering. Daniel is
Staring
speaking,
at a window and muttering.
Yeah, Daniel is speaking quietly.
Yes,
that is canonical in Chess's behavior here. But there are people coming up, but we'll address that in a second. So you said that you cleared your throat. As you clear your throat, she actually moves towards you quite quickly.
Can I take a fright?
Yeah, you can take a fright.
Oh my god.
You can take a fright.
Oh my god.
She gives you a push, but you can't actually feel it. Her hands go through you, and she says,
Damn king and country. I'm sure he loved us more. I'm sure of it.
and then she looks directly at you. She doesn't look like she's looking through you anymore, and she says,
Will you deny your duty?
Is she still there?
She's still there. She goes back to looking out the window.
I think he stands there and swallows and blinks and touches his heart.
Go ahead and roll a d20 plus your influence, because now we're going to address the dinner guests that were coming up behind you on the stairs. And I want to see how well you are able to mask that. And I'm going to roll for Eleanor Audley, and I will roll for Mr. Quinn, because they were probably the next up, because they were going to provide the music.
I got a 14 and then my influence is 2, so that's a 16.
16. Okay, so that's good. That's pretty successful. Okay, so Eleanor Audley is focused on getting into the ballroom, but Nevin, who has to go to his room to get his violin, does notice you standing over by the window, clutching your heart. He leans over and he says, "You doing all right there?" And he hesitates because he doesn't know exactly which name to use for you. You doing all right there, lad?
Daniel, of course, whips his head back, looking at them. I think he was so deeply entranced by what was going on that he is startled by their presence. He is visibly pale and sweating a bit and holding his heart still, and he looks at Nevin and smiles and says, "A bird flew against the window and struck it. Give me quite the fright."
That's very good. I love that. Please roll again with your influence. And with Nevin is amicable towards you. So you will both basically be rolling with advantage on this, because you will both have +2. So you can roll a d20, add your influence, and then add +2.
Well, it's only a 14.
Altogether?
Yeah. I didn't roll very well.
Ooh. Well, Nevin rolled a base 14.
Ooh, what do we do?
Plus. No, it's okay, because Nevin wins, because Nevin also has wisdom, which is 16, and then the +2 is 18.
Oh dear.
So Nevin can tell that you're lying, and I'm gonna say...
Does that take me down a point with him?
With that, yes, because Nevin, also with your fake name situation...
Oh, yeah, he's like...
I think Nevin is still concerned for you. It only moves you down to interested instead of amicable. Nevin is still concerned for you. You're a friend of Liam's. He doesn't think too poorly of you, but he definitely knows that you're lying about something. We're going to go back at this point. We're going to pause your interaction, and we're going to go back to Liam and Adrian and Zach, who are now probably have moved through the dining room and are now approaching the base of the grand staircase. Liam actually leans aside to both Adrian and Zach and says, "You know, I did notice something during dinner as we were eating. Do you know that priest fellow that you were sitting next to, Zachery?"
Zachery nods.
I think Father Underwood it was. Well, he kept trying to get the attention of one of the serving girls, and she wasn't really paying him any mind, not any more than her duty calls for exactly, but he kept trying to catch her eye. The one, how do I describe her? She had the dark hair up under her bonnet, and I suppose sort of a broader face, a full figure.
Is this the same waitstaff that would walk behind Zachery, and then Zachery got like a chill up his spine?
Yeah, you got a chill up your spine from different waitstaff.
Oh, okay.
So she is one of them, yes.
She's
And
one
you
of
do
them.
recognize her. Adrian, you noticed her too.
Okay. Zachery recalls her face, and he doesn't really know what to make of this, but he looks at Liam and he just nods and he goes, "Interesting."
Yeah, I suppose we should keep an eye on them. Just any little thing, because he said it's his first time here, didn't he?
He did.
We'll go ahead and we'll say that you are walking up the stairs, and as you're walking up the stairs, you can hear Nathaniel talking to Daniel up at the top of the stairs.
Really?
Because...
How do you get up there?
Yeah, that's a real fucking good question, actually.
He walked,
He used
but
the stairs. He used his two
but-
little legs.
But he was...
No. We left him in the dust. But
Yeah.
we left him in the dust. We walked away from him.
Yeah.
He walked very fast.
This is something sneaky.
It's a secret doorway.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this matters. I'm just like,
He
how
just like squishes himself out of like a hole in the wall, and he's like, "Hello, I used the dumb way to."
Okay, go ahead and roll a wisdom roll.
Can I?
Yeah.
All right. Oh.
Ah, balls. Yes. I only got 8.
All right, I got 19 plus.
Nice.
25.
Yeah,
Damn.
like 30 seconds ago, you felt a breeze as Nathaniel went. It was his anxious energy as he went zooming ahead of you to keep up with.
So
the
not
rest of the
supernatural,
party.
just
no.
neurodivergent. Okay.
Yeah, it was just him.
Briskly walking.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that's so weird, and Zachery's like, no, he's just. I relate. He's just scared.
Yeah. So he's up talking with Daniel, and you hear him saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, anybody could have slipped on that. I'll take it back to her room. I'm so sorry about this. I'm so glad that you didn't trip or anything." And as you come up around the staircase, you see that Nathaniel is holding a little wooden pull toy and is walking down the west hallway with the pull toy as he makes his apologies. Also, Zach and Liam can now see the ghost that Daniel is still standing beside. Daniel, what sort of vibes do you have right now?
I think if you guys looked at Daniel, you could definitely tell that he is aware of the ghost, because he is still a bit pallid and sweating and still sort of has his hand instinctively over his heart.
Mm.
And then he looks at you guys, and it's like his eyes are searching for, like, do you see it?
Adrian doesn't, unfortunately.
Adrian doesn't see it at all. He doesn't have a Fergus feather anymore. But he is alarmed.
Who has Peter's feather?
That's Liam.
Liam.
Okay. Zach, are you carrying a feather and you don't need to?
Oh, yeah.
I'm allowed to carry a feather.
For protection.
Maybe he wants the protection.
Yeah. I mean, Adrian wouldn't think to be like, hey.
Hey, give me a feather.
I think I would like to see the strange and unnatural.
I love
me.
that. That's one of my favorite things.
Give me a feather.
But you like the macabre.
Liam definitely rushes over to you, Daniel, whenever he sees what's going on, and he sort of pulls you away a little bit. He goes, "Daniel, are you all right? Did it get you?"
Did it get you? Is anyone else around? Or is it just the lads?
There are a few other people that are slowly making their way up. Nobody else is zooming up the stairs like Nathaniel was. So you've got Virginia Colby, you've got Edwin Flynn, they're walking up. Higgins is trying to leech onto them as close as possible.
I think Daniel kind of like, his eyes flick over to the people behind Liam, who are clearly not meant to overhear what he wants to say. And then he looks at Liam and he says, "I'm fine, genuinely. We can talk later." And he pats Liam on the shoulder.
Okay. I think Liam picks up on it at this point and looks over at the ghost and looks over at Zach.
Zach has been looking at the ghost and watching it, and as Daniel's been talking, and it's obvious that Daniel and Liam can see it, and he just instinctively looks back at Liam and then looks to where the entire crowd is going instead.
Very good.
Hang on. Adrian leans over to Liam. Should I be concerned?
We'll talk about it later, but it doesn't seem like there's any immediate danger. It's just a ghost.
Oh.
Zachery puts a hand over his face that Liam just said that out loud.
He's speaking very quietly.
He's still like he's still just he just goes
Daniel braces himself because typically whenever something like this is said, Adrian goes, "A ghost?" really loud.
He just goes, oh.
Okay. He sighs with relief.
Zachery, let's see.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Zachery does look to Adrian and asks, "Are you unable to see it?"
No, I don't. He also tries to be quiet and looks over his shoulders. I don't see anything, but I don't have any of the feathers all of you have. Thankfully.
He opens his coat and he volunteers it. He says, "I think you should be able to keep an eye out for them just in case."
Oh, all right. He takes it reluctantly.
Oh dear, Zach is unprotected now.
We'll just stick by us.
First of all, I don't like that tone. You are not the DM, so do not come at me with that face, those eyes, that tone. I will let Cassidy talk to me that way.
Can I roll to see if Adrian gets a fright from suddenly being able to see this old woman ghost?
I'm gonna give you just one, because anytime you roll, there's a possibility that you might end up with, 8.
Yeah.
And so I think it's more fair to say that for this, just seeing the ghost and not the whole spectacle with the toy and everything, I'm gonna say just take one fright, please.
Okay, fair. Because he does take the feather, and then he goes, huh.
Yeah. Oh, God.
The sight is immediate and silent.
She's just standing there at this point. She is not moving.
Is everyone gone now? Because Daniel would like to share what he wrote on his cuff.
People are still walking in, and in fact, Ms. Chumley calls out and says, "Admiring the view." It's ironic because it's completely dark outside aside from flashes of lightning.
Zachery kind of makes a face at them and pulls back and starts heading towards the ballroom quietly.
Liam follows.
Daniel laughs and shrugs and says, I do enjoy a good thunderstorm. And he starts to make his way to the ballroom as well.
A man of adventure.
Quite. Zachery.
So the grand ballroom welcomes you with gilded opulence. The vaulted ceiling curves high above you, supported by 4 Corinthian columns in each corner of the room. Painted flocks of swans, egrets, and doves soar amongst the pastel clouds. 3 of the 4 walls, the north, west, and east, are adorned with gold leaf wood trimming, creating decorative arches at regular intervals. Inside each arch, mounted candelabra cast a flickering warmth on the white and gold cushions lining the perimeter of the ballroom. The south wall is the one exception. On the upper part of the south wall, a second-floor gallery overlooks the vast hall. It's easy to imagine a baron or a viscount surveying at least 100 lavish guests, leaning on the banister, crystal goblet hanging drolly from his fingers. 4 Gothic windows stretch up like dark banners behind him. As you and the other hot spring guests enter, your feet echo on the white marble floors. The empty space is almost oppressive on such a small crowd. A few of your new acquaintances murmur appreciatively at the grandiose architecture, but no one is eager to raise their voices to the mercy of the powerful acoustics. Once you're further inside, you can see that under the overhanging south gallery, instead of a wall, there are folding glass doors. Through the white grid of lattice on the glass, you can only see complete blackness outside, though you can hear 1,000 raindrops fiercely tapping to come in. A white taxidermy hound stands by these doors with its paw lifted and nose pointed towards the outside. At the center of the room hangs an enormous tiered chandelier. Mirrored glass dangles from the base in glittering looping ribbons that catch and bounce the gold candlelight. It's anchored by a sturdy rope, not unlike the ropes you handled on the HMS Halberd, which connects to a hook in the gallery, the means by which servants can raise and lower the massive beast in order to light the candles. Mrs. Audley is the first to speak above a whisper, exclaiming and clapping her hands when she spots the grand piano along the west wall. I think a nice quadrille is just the thing. Don't you agree, Mr. Quinn? And there we are. Mr. Quinn starts tuning his violin. He's standing over by Eleanor Audley. She does a few experimental keys on the piano. Her fingers are quite knobbled, but it seems they have not lost their agility. She's doing a few runs on the piano. People are starting to look around. Dorothea looks over to you, Daniel. She gives you the once up and down, and she says, "How about that dance?" Hoping to maybe cheer you up a little bit.
He smiles. It does cheer him up, and he was confident at dinner, but now being in front of her and she's so pretty, and actually, with the idea of, holding her hand and stuff, he actually blushes, and a little bit of that confidence starts to fade a little bit. He's a little Twitter-pated, but he blushes, and he smiles at her as a reaffirming, sure.
Cute.
Excellent. I'm going to give Liam one of his 2 witness. Y'all don't see this, but I'll describe it so that the listeners know what's going on. Liam notices that Sylvester T. Higgins has actually cornered the young woman who introduced herself as Rosamund Osmond, and is having a sort of hushed conversation with her, and she looks markedly uncomfortable. And as Liam approaches, he can hear Rosamund saying, "No, I think you are quite mistaken, sir. I am just a maid. I have one of those faces. If you'll excuse me." And she's trying to kind of move out from around him, but he's still cornering her. So Liam comes up, and Liam says, "Do you mind if I ask you for this dance, Miss Osmond?" She looks between the 2 of them, and she says, "Yes, I think that would be good. Thank you for the offer. I accept." And she moves away from Sylvester T. Higgins.
Noble boy.
Very.
And now it's up to Adrian and Zach. Liam walks over to Adrian and says, "Are you going to be dancing, Adrian?"
I see that you are.
And not with me.
You are. You're quite a fine dancer. It would be a shame if you didn't.
Well, I don't know. Perhaps if someone asks me, and he realizes that he's supposed to be the one asking, and then he's like, we'll see.
And then Virginia's like,
Yeah.
toodaloo, hello.
It's actually Ms. Chumley who is kind of looking around, and she makes eye contact with you. I think she kind of overhears the statement. And so her glasses flash a little bit.
That's a boy I can top.
Yeah, she's like George.
Get it, Miss Chumley.
George Sand and Chopin. She's like, I like a man who's submissive.
Liam gives Adrian a little nudge. He's like, go on, it's a quadrille. We'll all be dancing together.
He's blushing a lot. Does Chumley walk over, or is she just beaming at him?
She's beaming for now. It depends on how long Adrian hesitates.
No, he's terrible. He steps a few feet, and then he stops and he glances at Liam like, huh? Like a little chihuahua.
Then she walks over and she says, "Are either of you fine gentlemen intending on dancing?" Liam steps in and he says, "Well, I've asked Miss Osmond to be my partner, but I know Adrian here is an excellent dancer." And then what about Zachery? You notice it looks like, let's see, I'm going to give you one of your witness because I'm going to tell you that Father Underwood seems to be not interested in dancing. He's looking around the room, and after he's come into the grand ballroom, he ducks out. And wrapped into this witness, I'm going to say you also notice that Mr. Keene is watching Father Underwood and is stepped away from the action. It doesn't look like Mr. Keene will be dancing.
Those two definitely know something is going on.
This is perfect because this is exactly... I wanted Zachery to also leave. Yes, so he notices Father Underwood leave. He notices Mr. Keene watching.
As you watch longer, you can notice that Mr. Keene does in fact follow after Father Underwood.
Okay. Zachery, is he around his friends? Are they still talking and he notices this?
Yeah, I think you're nearby your friends. You were not, I think, immediately engaged in the whole dancing conversation, but you're not too far away from them.
He whispers, "Pardon me for a moment," and then he actually steps away. He waits a couple moments and then he kind of steps into the hall as well. What does he see?
We're going to follow Zach in a moment, because for now, everybody is paired up for the dance. It seems like Mrs. Audley is quite eager to get on with the dancing, and everybody pairs up. So with the quadrille, quad means that there are 4 different pairs, and they're set up in a square all facing inward towards each other, or you could think of it like a clover, perhaps. You've got Liam and Miss Osmond. You've got Adrian and Miss Chumley. We've got Daniel and Miss Crispin. And then Miss Colby and Mr. Flynn step up. Zach has told you that he's stepping away for a moment, and I think it's pretty safe for all of us to assume that Zach is going to go do some investigating.
Some partying.
And now we get to the dancing time. Dancing party. We're going to do some rolls for this. So, for the quadrille, there are 5 parts to the dance, 5 movements, if you will. In the quadrille, when our lads are going to be dancing, it's going to be a lot of weaving in and out of each other and taking turns. There's a lot of skipping with the feet, kicking your little feet out and then backing up. You know, a little bit like a square dance if you've seen something like that. There's even some points where as you pass your partner in the center, you'll give them a little high five as you walk past. It's a very popular dance. It's been around for a while.
I've seen this dance before.
Exactly. And so you have one group which are the leaders. So they go first and they go through the movements, and then the people on the sides, they go through the exact same movements. So there's a lot of wonderful geometry in the dance movements. So for the first part of the dance, what we're going to do is somewhat similar to one of the mechanics that we used in the ballroom scene with the Fae, which is where we're going to have each pair roll, and then we will take the average of the roll to kind of combine how the couple does. Let's start off, before we even get into the dancing at all, I'm going to have Adrian and Daniel and Liam. We're going to do the same thing we did at dinner, where we roll a d6 to see how many of the other guests express a positive interest in each lad. And Daniel and
Liam.
Thank you. Daniel and Liam are rolling with advantage, unless you got a 6.
I got a 6.
Okay, cool.
Got a 1.
Oh, no. That's okay. Liam got a 5. Daniel got a 6. Oh, we flip-flopped from dinner. Adrian got a 1. And then Zach is abstaining. But you might have other ways to get influence with people as you go on your adventure. So now we're going to switch over to the D20. Let's start with Daniel and Miss Crispin. Roll a D20 and I'll roll for Dorothea.
What'd
Not
my
good.
partner get?
A 4.
No! Oh, my dear.
I'm trying to see if I can't remember if I'm adding anything to this. I don't think I am. We are not adding anything to this. It's a straight roll.
Dang.
Please, this matters so much to me. Oh no, I got a 13. We're just two awkward ducks.
You're both still thinking about ghosts.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll say that that's
absolutely.
what's going on. Our minds are elsewhere.
Okay, so the average of that one is going to be an 8.5, which is moderate success. For the dancing mechanic, what you've got is 2 to 12 is going to be poor dancing. You have to focus on your feet. You lose 1 interest. So now,
I've got 5 now.
Now you've got 5, yes.
Okay.
But since, based on the rolls, it's not just you. I think Dorothea is trying to keep on a brave face, but is still a little bit shaken up by what she saw.
Can I tell that she might want to talk to me about it?
Yes, you'll be able to talk to her about it if you roll good or above on the dancing. So since you rolled poor on your dancing, you can't actually talk very much.
Okay.
Now let's roll for Adrian and Miss Chumley.
I hope I do good. Got a 4.
A 4, okay. Miss Chumley only got an 11. We're all doing very poorly here. Okay.
Y'all had too much to drink at dinner.
Not a good dancing night. Something about the atmosphere.
Okay, so...
I know what it is. Adrian doesn't realize he's supposed to be leading.
Egg.
That is also poor, so you lose, unfortunately, you also have to focus on your feet, you lose 1 interest, so you have none interest now.
Okay, yeah,
You
everybody's
can-
like, what a loser.
But don't fear, because depending on how you do, you might have a chance to win it back. Okay, and now we will do Liam and Miss Rosamund. Okay, so I got a 16 for Liam and a 13 for her. Okay, so that is a 14.5. So that is average dancing, which means that Liam is able to use one of the points of interest as desired. And so he's going to try to engage Miss Osmond in conversation. He goes about it as delicately as he can. He says, Miss Osmond, I'm sure your situation as it is, which is not a situation, obviously, is none of my business. But I simply wanted to ask if you're safe, or if you do need anything. I'm only worried a little bit is all, seeing as how you're here by yourself. And I rolled influence for Liam, and it was a nat 20.
All right. Oh, he's just so nice. Such a nice boy.
At least the dice says so this time. She looks for a moment as if she is about to cry. And I don't know if Daniel or Adrian are paying too much attention to this. I mean, you rolled poorly, so I imagine you're still looking at your feet.
Yeah.
But Rosamund shakes her head and she says, I appreciate it. Now that I think about it, I do believe maybe we've met before, but I am safe. I'm just a little overwhelmed right now. And perhaps after the evening is done, maybe something can be done then. But for now, I'm looking forward to not thinking about anything much, really, and just relaxing. And Liam nods, and they continue the dance. Okay, and let's roll, just for shits and giggles, let's roll for Virginia Colby and Edwin Flynn.
See if they're also doing shitty.
They might also be doing shitty, because one of them rolled a 3. A 3 and a 7, so you know that is
They're
not
doing
good.
the worst out of us.
That's not doing bad at all. They are the
Rich
they
people
are
can't
worse.
dance.
So
You've been fucking us up.
yeah, they are actually bickering a little bit, and just you can tell it's more like crackling energy coming off of them, where you can kind of sense their vibes a little bit. He seems like he's maybe like losing interest a little bit. He's kind of going through the motions, and she's got her smile is strained as they are dancing together. Now we move into the second movement. Let's start again with Daniel and Miss Crispin. Okay, Dorothea did better.
What'd she get?
A 17.
Okay, my dear, I shall not fuck us up.
Oh.
Okay, let's find out what that is. 12. Oh, it's on the upper side of poor.
Oh, dang.
It's just on the cusp.
Let's
Getting
say
better.
Daniel's at 5 fright right now, so let's say that he is still a little pallid and trembling a little bit, and so his mind is still thinking about the ghost. Mm-hmm. And he's thinking about also making sure that no one sees what's written on his cuff. So I think he's a bit distracted.
That
Even
really
though Dorothea
tracks.
is dancing really well, he is distracted.
At this point, you can tell she is thoroughly enjoying herself. She still looks a little bit concerned on Daniel's behalf, but she is happy to be able to kind of put everything behind her right now. She's like, that was some spooky shit, and I am not going to think about it anymore. We're going to do some dancing. And she's determined to bring you with her in that spirit.
She's so sweet. Oh my god.
All right, now let's have Adrian and Miss Chumley. Ooh, okay.
Let's see. I got a 10 that time.
Well, lucky for you, Miss Chumley rolled a 20.
Yay!
Which is phenomenal skill that brings the whole team up, and you actually get +1 luck.
+1 luck.
Luck?
You get +1 luck.
Luck?
Luck.
Are you bringing
yes.
luck into this?
Yeah.
It's a stat on the chart.
You get +1 luck, and you gain an influence. So the one that you just lost, you can have that influence or interest or whatever you want to have that, whatever you want to call that. You have that back. So now you have 1 point, and so you can use this round of dance to have some conversation.
Okay.
And also, you're very impressed with how good she is.
She dips you.
Yeah.
She does.
She
Yeah,
spins
she
you,
dips
dips you, lifts you, and then dips you again.
She recognizes that you're kind of like fumbling on the lead, and she kind of swaps with you a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, he's quite swept away.
How would you like to use this?
I mean, I'd like to get points with Miss Chumley.
Is there anything that you would like to speak with her about specifically, or do you want to be like, I smile nicely and she likes me?
I think he'd stammer and he'd be like, "You're a marvelous dancer, thank you. I fear you're rather carrying us through."
Oh, I don't mind doing the carrying.
Ooh.
He blushes.
Ooh.
Yes, exactly. Wonderful. Okay. You now have a rating of interested with Beatrix Chumley. So I rolled for Liam and Rosamund, and they rolled poorly this time,
Oh,
I'm
no.
afraid. I think whatever Liam brought up with her has kind of shaken her up just a little bit. The two of them don't do quite as well. They do poor, so we're going to lose 1 interest.
This is the shittiest quadrille.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Everyone sucks.
Yeah.
Except for Chumley.
We're going to pause with the dancing scene, and we'll pick up there later, because now we are going to move to Zachery. Go ahead. Do we have a sneaky stat?
No.
Do we have a roll for
Like a stealth stat.
sneakiness? Not really.
Do you have a roll for... No, we don't.
We don't. So that's
you
it's
like
just gonna
one?
be
No.
that's gonna be a straight up within our success bracket for you. I would like you to roll me a d20, and we'll see how well you're able to follow behind Mr. Keene and Father Underwood.
Okay, so here's the thing. When he initially leaves, when he peeks out, when he exits the door, is that what I'm rolling for? Him exiting the door?
This is gonna be a roll that counts towards you following undetected in general.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Are there any shadows?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you got.
There are shadows. So again, to lay
Are there
this
any
out for you.
connecting shadows?
So let me lay this out for you. The shadows, all of the sconces are lit right now. You're standing in the hall, so this is the place where you came up at the top of the stairs. There is the table set up with the taxidermy boar piglets. There's the mirror over the table. And then there's the stairs leading downward. There's the ghost that you saw before. So there are shadows nearby. You saw that Mr. Keene was going back down the stairs. And so if you head down the stairs, there are a few places that are in the darkness, for example, closer to the windows, except in moments when the lightning strikes, there is a lot of darkness. Did you roll a sneaky roll?
Now here's the thing. Now here's something fun. I do have a spell of invisibility.
Oh, yeah.
You equipped that?
I did.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
bitch.
okay.
Read it.
Yes, all right.
Okay. So it lasts 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm stepping out into the hall and it's the initial roll of do I catch anybody's attention? I can roll for that. But I think what Zachery is going to do is go invisible.
And remind the listeners again, whenever you've used a spell, since you are a magic user, does that mean you can continue to use this spell, or is it one use like the rest of us schmoes?
It should be one use like everybody else in this game. The only things I should be able to do continuously are light and deflect. Those are my 2 cantrips, but everything else either requires like a long rest or...
Got it, okay. Very cool. You absolutely can do that. Does it require any incantations, or are you able to just do it?
Yeah, the words were Invisibilia Corpus.
I did write that down too.
You on top of it, baby.
I am. I'm so proud of myself right now. You guys have no idea.
So describe to me what you're doing whenever you step out of the ballroom. I'm not making you roll any sort of sneakiness, because this is your life. This is how you live. So you can just step out of the ballroom discreetly and nobody's going to notice you. But from here on, what is your action? You are standing outside the fancy door.
Awesome. Thank you. He closes the door behind him, and as soon as like everybody's out of sight, he chants Invisibilia Corpus, and then he goes invisible, and then he very carefully starts stepping after Mr. Keen.
Okay.
Which is kind of a shame, because what I actually want to do is follow where Nathaniel went. Because Nathaniel went to the West Hall. Oh no, I'm in a conflict. He knows. He doesn't... Fuck, man, because he doesn't think they're doing anything interesting, but I know that we want to go... That there's a reason that we want to go that way.
Maybe. You could follow Nathaniel. I'm prepared for either.
You got half hour.
But they're investigating something. Wouldn't you want to investigate the thing they're investigating instead of investigating the people who are investigating the thing? You should go after Nathaniel.
There we go. That's what I want.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, so I'm going to... Yes, I'm going to actually go in the direction Nathaniel was going. So that he's going to go down that hallway.
Can I ask if Zach did the invisibilitying in view of the mirror?
Zach did do the invisibilitying in front of the mirror.
Oh, no. Boo. That's fine. That won't come back to bite me in the ass.
You know, the mirror that Zach was pointing out in the end of the last episode about, like, how, oh yeah, we should be really careful, lads. We might be being watched.
He pointed out a mirror? I thought he was just pointing out the gems. Oh, it was the dog eyes.
The general idea that we're probably being watched.
Oh.
Mirrors can also be used for scrying, and they are, in fact, the best way to spy on people, more so than gems.
If I was actually Zachery, I would know so much more about what's going on, but I'm just me. And Cassidy's right, I just have to live my life with all my mistakes.
Live your life. So, you're going to walk forward and then to the left and then left again, past the banister of the grand staircase and into the hallway. Based on what Nathaniel was saying during dinner, this long, long hallway is the site of the bedrooms where many of the guests will be staying. The doors... Some of them are open, and if you take a peek inside, you can see that there are bedrooms. So that confirms the point that this is the place where everybody is going to be going to sleep at night. You are not entirely sure where Nathaniel went, because you went into the ballroom with everybody. The hallway is almost 100 feet long. This is a long hallway. It almost gives you a sense of vertigo as you are staring down this hallway. So there are doors only to your right. As you're standing looking down the hallway, all the doors are on the right. There are wall sconces periodically down this hallway as well. So there are stark shadows in some places, like along the ceiling and along the floors, but otherwise the wall sconces light up the hallway fairly well. And so you can see all the way at the very end of the hallway, there is a door facing you. And then aside from that, there are 3 other doors along the right side. Also, to put it another way, all of the doors are on the west side of the hallway.
So now I'm trying to figure out which door I want to go into. Okay, very cool. He's creeping along. He's very carefully putting an ear to every door. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
The first door that you come across that is the closest to you, the door hasn't even been fully shut yet, so if you just kind of take a peek inside, you can see that everything in there is a beautiful pastel yellow color. There's nobody in this room. There is a trunk that's been moved in, but it's empty. The next room, the door is closed. Go ahead and roll a perception.
16.
16. A success. You hear nothing behind that door. You continue moving down the hallway, and for the next door, this is the last door that's on the west side of the hallway before you get to the one at the very end. So go ahead and give me another perception.
Okay.
There are only 3 doors in this 100-foot long hallway?
Yes.
That's suspicious. Makes me wonder what they're hiding in between each room. 21.
21. I'm actually gonna take that 21 and add on to it your witness to give you something that would be almost impossible to hear.
Oh, love it.
You can hear labored breathing coming from this room, but no talking.
Is there a shadow underneath the door?
Yes, there is a shadow underneath the door.
Great. Gonna dip my toes into that real quick.
Roll me a wisdom roll.
I got you. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
You're fine.
Yay!
You're fine.
What does that mean?
It means you're fine.
Oh, great.
It means you're fine.
Horrifying.
Like something could have perceived you.
Oh, okay.
Now, the important question is, once you get inside, it's a very dark room. Do you stay in the shadow?
Oh, yeah, he stays camouflaged in the shadow.
What you see is a 4-poster bed with all of the curtains drawn. And the room is all a sort of faded, mossy green color, sort of just very pale fern or clover-like type color. And the breathing is coming from the 4-poster bed with the curtains all drawn.
He pops out all the way.
Everything in here has a sort of an aroma to it, something that just smells very lived in. There's kind of like a sick smell in here. You can only hear, well...
Well...
I'm gonna do a roll. Okay, that's nothing. The breathing remains even, and you're standing in this room. Do you take a look around? Do you approach the bed?
He knows that there's someone in here, and he knows he's pushing his luck, so he's really gonna stand very still, but he's really, listening. Because what Nathaniel said is, oh my gosh, this is one of her toys, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna take this back to her. So he's like, is this her room?
Mm-hmm.
And he's smelling, these medicines and things like that, and he's remembering what she was saying when she was like, we're in a great deal of trouble. So he's just listening right now, but
Okay.
he is getting closer to the bed.
Then give me a perception, because I want to know, with your listening, it's pretty dark in here, so you can't see. There's a lot of shapes. There's dressers and things like that you can make out, but your eyes haven't quite acclimated to it yet, so
Right.
you can't see a lot. Give me a roll to tell me what you hear.
Do
17?
Yeah.
Plus your wisdom. That's enough. You actually can hear some voices coming. There is another door in this room that you can hear Nathaniel in the other room, and you can hear a very faint voice also in that other room with Nathaniel through this door.
In the other room.
In the other room. Sort of like one of those hotels where they have
Oh, it's a
connecting
connecting
doors.
room.
It's
Okay.
a connecting room. So
So
the
who
room
the
that
fuck is breathing in here? Okay, go on.
What kind of breathing? Like when you hear breathing, you can tell this is an old man, this is a young girl.
Yeah, okay. With the role that Eli got, that's a fair question. I would say this is the breathing of an adult.
Okay.
Man or woman?
I don't think you could tell that.
Sometimes you can.
I'm gonna say no, it's an adult. You can tell that it's an adult.
Okay. Okay, so he hears the breathing, hears this conversation in the other room. Oh my god, so he's like... his train of thought is, if Nathaniel and his niece are over there, and everybody else is dancing, who is this?
The next thing you notice is that over on the dresser across from the bed are an array of puppets.
What?
Just regular puppets. Little marionettes.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine.
No. Okay.
Is the cat toy in here?
No, the Catboy Soldier is not in here.
All I've done is perceive. I haven't asked a single question yet. Okay, so that's not in here. But there are marionettes and puppets. That's an interesting connection. Okay. Zachery hears that thing breathing and is actually just going to dip back into the shadows and see if, he can go into the next room.
Give me a wisdom roll.
Okay. Because I don't know if there's light stopping him or anything, so he's just going,
It's very
towards
dark.
there. Yeah. 16.
That works. You're fine. So as you dip underneath the door into the next room, the conversation becomes more clear. I assume you stay in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear Nathaniel speaking. Someone really could have gotten hurt, I understand it can be really boring with all of these adults here and strangers in our house and people that we don't know, but, we just have to bear with it for a while. But, it's really not good for you to be getting out of bed at night anyway with you like this, and What have you done to her dress? Emily. Oh, Emily. And you can see from the shadows that Nathaniel is talking to a figure in another 4-poster bed. You cannot see because one of the curtains is pulled back and he's speaking to her, but she is obscured. You can see he's holding the Catboy Soldier toy in his hand, and he has just bent down to pick up a dress off of the ground. And it is a little green doll dress that has been torn and shredded and ripped. And there's no doll to speak of to go with it. And he's holding it out to her. And he says, this one, this was quite expensive, whenever your father got that for you. And then you hear a very weak voice from the bed. I promise I didn't do that. It wasn't me. And Nathaniel goes, yes, all right. Just like the rocking horse, I'm sure. And he seems like a little bit concerned. And the rocking horse in question, you notice, is a beautiful wooden creation that is masterfully crafted. It's been painted in bright primary colors, except where you would assume the eyes to be, there are empty hollow sockets and a green stain that spiders out from within those eye sockets. Nathaniel runs a hand through his hair and he says, okay, all right, it wasn't your fault, it was your, imaginary friend or whatever it is. All right, okay, so it wasn't your fault, that's fine, just, we can talk about this later. I know it's important for you to get some rest. I know it's a little noisy with the guests here and everything, but just try your best to sleep. You need to conserve your strength. And then, we'll have fun tomorrow after everyone's gone. We'll have dinner together, and we'll make sure to get you a reward for your good behavior for this evening, but I really need you. And he kind of kneels down at the end of the bed now where he can see her, and he says, it's not safe to be just running around, and just please promise me you'll stay in after midnight. It's dangerous. You don't hear anything from the bed for a little while, and he goes, Emily, please. And she says, oh, all right, I will not leave my room. Not leave my room. Are you happy? And he says, yes, thank you, Emily, that's all I wanted. You are an angel. And you see he moves over now, and he pulls aside the curtain, and now, Zachery, you can see her, and she looks nothing like what you saw this morning. It is shocking how different she looks. She looks quite pale, she looks a lot more thin than you saw her before, and she is holding a little doll that has a sort of makeshift dress wrapped around it. And Nathaniel leans down and he kisses her on the forehead, and he leaves the Catboy Soldier on her bedside table and leaves the room.
This is Adrian Edwards. Dearest Nicole, I would like to thank you for your support and patronage throughout our adventures. Your comments keep us motivated. Every time I fight a ghost, I shall think of you. So thank you once again from me personally. And the other 3. If you too, fellow listeners, would like a personalized thank you from your favorite dandy, please leave a rating or review on your podcast platform of choice. Let us know who you would like to hear from, and you will receive a special message at the end of the episode. Just so everyone knows, I am Nicole's favorite, so obviously, good taste there. Dandies in Danger is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can't actually rate or review on YouTube, but please do subscribe and share with your friends. This is a passion project that can only spread with your help.
Liked what you heard? Let us know by using hashtag #DandiesInDanger over on our Twitter, Insta, Tumblr, and TikTok in the listed links below. We'd love to hear any and all comments, questions, and theories as to where the story might be headed. Want to support us and our lads' adventures more directly? Then please consider clicking on the link and becoming a patron today. For just $1, you can gain access to our longer, uncensored outtakes and blooper reels. For $5, you can have access to exclusive stickers, in-world letters written by and for the lads, poetry by Adrian and Daniel, and original music from the show composed and scored by Chess Albanese.
Can't afford to support directly? No problem. Podcasts survive by word of mouth. So if you like what you heard, tell your friends, family, and local graveyard ghosts all about these exciting tales. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Dandies in Danger is written and voiced by Elijah Bergateris as Zachery Wilkos. Cass as Liam Bardsley. Chess Albanese as Daniel Pritchard. And Toast as Adrian Edwards. It is edited by Toast. Original score and music composed by Chess Albanese. It is produced by Dandies team, and made possible by listeners like you.